What's going on, everyone? We are live and we are back in PA. I just want to talk about my trip down to Stillwater. It was amazing and there's a lot to cover. I have some footage, but I'm going to save that. We're just going to talk about it. Got some pictures. Kicker threw up a nice post of everything going on. And of course, it's Friday, so ask me anything. Hang out, have a good time. Without further ado, let's get to the intro. Cue the music. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I think I got this right. Let's see here. Oh, we're live! What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. It is Friday. Just got back from Stillwater. It's great to be home, but man, was that cool to throw my own show, let alone be on the Unmasked show at Kicker, man. That was awesome. Man, it's like words can't explain how I feel and how I felt then and now. It was an awesome time, man. And you know, I wish I could have stayed longer, but there's always next time. Got to see a lot of things, do a lot of things, see some things you guys haven't seen, and man, it was a blast. It was awesome. And I know Bill threw up some pictures from Kicker, but I have a few here, some that he didn't post up. And I'd just like to talk about some of the things that I've seen and the whole Kicker tour, or John would say the whirlwind of a tour. Everything that I got to do, everything that I got to see, people I got to meet. It was awesome, man. And super chats are not working, but I seen that, Dave. Thank you for the super chat. Check that check that super chat. You know, this computer just will not do super chats. They were working great, you know. Thank goodness for the Unmasked After Show. John afterwards, he's like, "What's a super chat?" Hey, we had a blast, man, and you know, it was cool to be able to have John right there, having a conversation and engaging with you guys, but still having a really good conversation towards the end of the Unmasked After Show. And it was great. And it was cool to do the Unmasked show in general. I wanted to stay towards the end, but they wanted to pretend that I left early, you know. So I'm like, that's okay, you know. And it was a blast, man. It really was. And just to be able to tell my story and be on there. And I wish I could go back. It was awesome. Again, David, thank you for the super chat. Cornut, what is going on? William, sorry you're back at home with the Rona, but I'm glad you're tuned in. What is going on? Living Loud with Andy, up late Friday night. You crushed it at Tuesday at Kicker. Great shows. Congratulations on the 150 with the quad box. You're a true rock star. Thank you, man. You know, I was nervous, but with everything that we do here, it was my time. I was ready. I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. In the beginning, I was like, ooh, do I look at the camera? Do I look at John? This is tough, you know. And I know, you know, just the initial. But I felt like I did an okay job. So it was fun. That was the whole thing about it. I was trying to have fun with it. And that's what you kind of got to do. And yes, we got a 150 with the quad box wired down to the dirt. Those CX amps are 2 ohm stable. We had it down to half ohm, clamped 1600 watts, 1700 watts out of each one. So, you know, man, I just wanted to do that to be able to get to 50 and down the road make some adjustments so I can do a 150 and play some music at the same time. I wired it back up because I couldn't really play much. I could, but it wasn't as loud as it was, you know, with music at the regular impedance at 2 ohm per amp. It's crazy, man. It really is. Thank you for tuning in, Will. Brian, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we got the Caboose, we got SJC, we got all the regulars in tonight. We got Adair Daniel tuning in. I know it's been a hot minute since you've been in here, man. Thank you for tuning in. This was Alvin Irvin from Kicker Club. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. Cool. All right, let me scroll down here. Ernie! Yo, Andy, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in, man. It was awesome to be able to meet you, you know, put a face to the voice over the phone, you know, and it's just, when you meet someone in person, it's totally different, and thanks for helping me out with the Unmasked After Show. That was a blast, man, and can't wait to see you again. It feels like, you know, it was home down there, man. It's not like we met for the first time. It was just, you know, it was good to meet in person, though. It's totally different, and I had a blast, man. I really did. All right, William, great Friday night. Absolutely, man. I was feeling pretty good, too, and we took a walk, and I walked past this one tree or flower or something, and I kind of smelt it, you know, like how you smell in the flowers. Well, when you got allergies, you shouldn't do that. My right eye's like puffing up a little bit. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Hey, it's all good. Back to PA, man. These allergies are great. My allergies are really good down Stillwater, man. On the plane, I was dying. Let's see here. Got one from Kicker Club. William from Kicker, the Amp Tech. Glad you made it, Andy. Thank you, man. You know, it was awesome to meet you in person, too. I know we've had conversations on the phone, and you got to show me exactly what you do down there with the just the Amp Tech repair and everything about it. I thought that was really cool, you know, and it spikes my interest, and I know that's what you do for a living, man. It's cool for you just to share that, and I will have some really good content for, you know, what you do down there so other people can see that. I know it's been out there other places with Kicker and Dean and Rob and Derek, but I want to do my part too, man. And it was just cool to meet you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Walter Keeley, thank you for tuning in. I seen that you were in on the Unmasked show, talking good things about me. Thank you for tuning in here, man. Appreciate you. Really do. Same thing with you, John. I know you guys all were. You guys were there for me. I appreciate that. Hey, gang, what's going on, John? I know I wore my blue shirt. You know, I've been wearing Kicker like every day this week. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to throw on the blue shirt. I have about 14 of those black and yellow Kicker shirts just so I always have a clean one. But I'm like, you know what? I'll save that for Tuesday for the Kicking It With Andy show. Speaking of which, if you guys can think of any topics that you would like me to cover for that, let me know now, because I was going to do something, but I changed my mind, and that's kind of what we're doing tonight. just so it could be more free flow and just hanging out and talking about it, rather than, you know, an actual show. So if there's any other topics that you guys would like to talk about, and as long as I, you know enough about it, I feel like we could cover it. And if you have any ideas, let me know. Let's see, we got Joe Cook. Thank you for tuning in, man. Yes, you're early, Walter, very early. It's good, you're always tuning in the last 10-20 minutes. William says Ernie crushes his work at Kicker Unmasked for sure. You know, I saw all the switchboards that he was doing, man. A lot of stuff, but then after a while, like once you look at it, it's like, okay, that's not too bad, I could do that. So then I took over the studio. No, it's really cool stuff, man. You know, I would love to learn how to do all that stuff down the road, you know, just because, again, that spikes my interest as well with this kind of stuff here. And on a professional level, that's just awesome stuff. It really is. Bobby B is live from Disneyland. I swear, Bobby, your address should just be Disneyland. And that's it. Disneyland, well, that's California. Yeah, because you're from Cali. Baseaholics, what's going on, Drew? It's awesome to hang out with you too, man. You're going to be on a while tonight. 1 hour, 60 minutes-ish, how we usually do it. Thanks for tuning in, man. Let me scroll. We got 25. What is going on? 25 Hertz to Life. Thanks for tuning in. I know you were tuned in on the Unmasked show as well. You and Deviant. Yeah, we got a lot of the Kicker guys hanging out here. It's awesome. Ernie, Will. Just call me Mr. Bill. I got you, Will. I mean, Bill. Bill number 2. Ernie is the man. Absolutely, he is, man. He really is, Bill. He really is. He really is. I got to get a demo of his SQ build in his Audi. Or Volvo, sorry. Volvo. Beautiful, beautiful SQ system, man. And it was the definition of a sound quality build. You know, where your staging is up front, your bass is coming from the rear, but you don't hear it from the rear, and it's coming from the front. And, just how that sound quality stuff is. I know I got back to mine, and I thought mine sounded pretty good in the pilot. And I'm playing it, I'm like, man, in order to get that nice front stage bass, like that front fill from the rear, I really gotta push that sub almost too much where I can hear the bass coming from the back. So, I mean, yeah, it takes away from that sound quality, how that's supposed to be, where the bass is supposed to be in front of you. But for that average listener, you kind of want to feel that bass hitting you in the seat too. That's at least me. That's why John's build actually had a lot of mid bass. You could feel it literally moving the hair on your legs with the amount of mid bass he had, and his was all up front, and he still had 2Q L712s in the back, sealed, and plenty of power to go along with everything, man. Very beautiful build as well. I did forget him. I did. He's downstairs. I wanted to set up this sign. Speaking of which, you might as well look at the sign. The guys at Kicker made this for me on their CNC. Thing is awesome. This thing is like 2 inches thick, like the best wood you could think of. And I mean, look at that. Would you just look at that? Like, that is awesome. Like, that is the coolest thing ever. And yeah, I forgot to put Cookie Monster, but he's going to need a new place anyway, because he usually sits right here, and that's going to block that. So I'm going to have to think of something for him behind this sub, because as you can see, we even took out the triangle, the triangle L7, the triangle bazooka, and I replaced it with the 12 L7S since I took it out of the box to see if it would fit in the quad box. I had the two 12s just sitting here. I'm like, I'll take it out of the box, see if it fits in the quad box. Boom, like butter. It fit really good, and I heard that the Qs fit too, which is just nice to know. Maybe down the road, you can always switch it up and try to get more out of it in that custom prefab Kicker loaded enclosure. I think that's just nice that they fit. Either way, because I was worried about landing, because they got it it's like a recessed, beveled out lower baffle, so it's a flush fit for the L7Rs. The L7Ss will stick up a little bit higher because they got a little bit taller of a basket, or not basket, but gasket, I guess you would call it. So yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot Cookie Monster. He had a long weekend, man. He's got jet lag like me, He had 2 shows too. He was really putting into work. All right, let me scroll down here. SJC, Ernie, I am working on a top secret project and need Kicker's help. I emailed Bill but have not heard back. Man, I'm trying to think. Shoot Kicker a message unless you're friends with Bill on Facebook. Will Braun. But I mean, shoot, I'm trying to think. Man, maybe Ernie can help you out with that, or I'm sure they get to the emails eventually. It just, they get flooded. See if he can help you out on that, SJC. Ernie is the man. Yes. Yes, Bill. We got Cornut with a super chat. Cornut the caboose. Unofficially. I'm honored of Baba's absence. I know. He commented on the Quad Box 150 SPL video I just posted a few hours ago. If you haven't seen that, check it out. So I know he's around. He's probably eating his dinner. He'll be on shortly, hopefully. Thank you for your super chat, Cornut. Boombox is doing great, by the way. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Ernie says, Frog, Bullfrog, Bill Frog is a busy guy. Give him some time to get back to you. Absolutely, man. That's what Bill does for a living with all the social media stuff and answering people's questions within reason, other than sending it to tech support stuff. But with stuff like that, I'm sure he'll get back to you as soon as he can, man. John, Andy, factory integration for a topic like no aftermarket deck stuff. I know you did all that with your quad box. That would be pretty good. I don't know enough with like the whole metric hits and the T-harnesses, and I know what Kicker can do, so maybe I can talk about the integration with the key products. I think that would be that's definitely a solid topic. It's not my strong suit, but that's something that I can at least do some research on, of maybe some things that I don't know, to just feel a little better walking into the building. But I do know a little bit about it. I just know there's a lot that goes into that, and with the whole DSP and just how the integration and all that kind of stuff works. But for the simple person, when you have that big 11-inch tablet on your, TV, should I say, in the middle of your dash, you really don't want to replace that with a double din from Walmart or Best Buy or something like that with less features. So I feel like the Kicker key technology would, pretty much cover all the bases, and there are some other things too, but I mean, shoot. If you're keeping the stock head unit, you don't really need anything else to keep your steering wheel controls and stuff like that. So maybe, you know what, that might be a really good topic, because I do love the key products and just how, everything kind of works together. And they do have some more key products in the works, man. It's going to be awesome. It really is. Always innovating. John THF Little, thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see what all is done with the new Solo X, man. I got to hear one. It sounds great, and, you guys are going to be happy. You guys are going to be really, really happy. I'm telling you. Did you bring back Cookie Monster? He's not in the background. No, I just left him to Steve. Said, just hold on to him until I come back. Deviant has arrived. What is going on, Deviant? Awesome, awesome. We got Dave in here. What is going on? We got all 14.4 volts today. It's going good. And we got RGA. What's going on, RGA? Thank you for tuning in, man. Hope you're doing good. Dynamic duo, you know it. You're right, Ernie. John loves his mid bass, man. With those CWR 8s, Comp RT8s, or something like that. Yeah, I think they're Comp RT8s. Either way, 8-inch drivers playing mid bass, just kicking the crap out of your legs. Sounded really good, man. Especially with the whole V8 in the front of the engine. It kind of helped too. What's going on, Josh? I don't know if Christian's watching, and Brandy, how you guys doing? Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I seen you on the Unmasked show commenting, and I'm like, oh my goodness, comment. And then I seen that Bill from Kicker had to stop you for a second. Yeah, you can't comment too much, because it just they watch out for spam bots. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and trying to comment. And my show is a little different than the Unmasked show, where they don't throw up comments quite as much, because there's a lot of traffic going on that show as well. A little bit more than mine, I'd say. So it's hard to keep everything going. SJC! That sign is cool, Andy. When they showed me that, and well, Ernie did, Ernie's like, remind me, I got something for you. I'm like, okay. And like we were doing something, and I'm like, Ernie, you got me something, right? Oh yeah. So we had to go to the other side of the building. Whatever. Picked it up. I was like, oh my god, that thing is awesome. Like, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. He asked me for a render. I was like, oh yeah, I got a render, you know, no problem. I thought he was going to use it for like the show or something. No, look at that. Thing is awesome, you know. And I like it because it's like that rustic look, and it's got the little red in there. I don't know if you can see that for the YouTube. You know, I just think it's awesome, man. You guys did a really good job on that. That's their CNC machine where they actually use to cut out the template that goes into the heat press vinyl, whatever it's called, to make the surrounds. I'm sure they use it for other things too, but I actually seen them chiseling out a bottom end, because they were using like two pieces of it for a template of how they make surrounds. And it's not like they, you know, make every speaker in-house, but when they're designing something and they're trying to, you know, put the speaker together, that's what they do to get the results that they're looking for the product that comes to your door. So they might have to do that a lot, you know. Okay, well, we got to make this surround, you know, a little bit wider, and it needs to be a little bit more of a curve at this angle, you know, a bunch of math stuff that I have no idea about, but they have everything there to do all that kind of stuff, and it was awesome to see that. Whew. William, hope you never sneeze in that room with all the balancing going on behind you, start falling like dominoes. You know, when I sit down a little bit too quickly, I'm like, you know, I mean, it's pretty good for the most part. It's a good balance. You know, I worked at UPS for 3 years loading packages, so it's sturdy. Now, if the cat goes and like walks on it, yeah, it's probably gonna fall, but that's why I got everything blockaded. Door stays locked, no one comes in, no one goes out. Unless the house shifts, we should be okay. But it's kind of temporary until, because I want to add some more things behind me, actually, you know. It's like a never-ending thing. Pretty soon it's just gonna be a wall of subs, like the wall of boom. Speaking of the wall of boom, man, I'm going on. I'm not even showing any of the kicker stuff. But you know what? It's just cool to be able to get back to you guys. You know, I know the Unmasked show, after show, was cool and all, but it's a little bit different than this, you know, because, shoot, I'm 2 inches from the camera. That makes a difference. It really does. But yeah, let me get to some of these. Let me scroll down in the comments. Let me see if I missed anything crazy. Yes, Saber and Kicker updating their website. Yes, Bill puts in work updating. He actually doesn't do the website. I thought he did. Someone else does that. Because I was telling him about stuff. I was like, hey, there's like a typo here, because I'm like reading the website like way too much and I see some things. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll forward it along. I'm like, oh, I thought you did the website. No, he just takes care of all the social media stuff. Literally the social media. Todd Spracker, what is going on, man? Did you get an L7X demo? Yes, I got to hear 212s play, and I kind of had to watch what I showed on the video. If you check out my last video with the quad box, at the very tail end, I have actually a demo video of them going. Ernie, it's good. Don't you worry. Don't. We're good. Just enough that you can see them moving. You know, we're good. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got the demo of the L7Xs, man, and whew, you guys are gonna be happy. You know, and it was just cool to be able to see them moving. I know when you put a speaker and you're playing bass, a lot of them can sound pretty much all the same. But just to see it and know it, that it was the L7X playing, and then what kind of box it was in, it was pretty cool. You know, and being like one of the first people to actually hear that, I felt pretty special and honored. GZ52, yo Andy, 2 questions. Is the Shockwave, the SHOC, yes, I know what you're talking about, on the KX like an epicenter, and since KX will be discontinued, will the prices drop? Well, I'm sure the prices may drop with third-party retailers. They're just not going to be making them anymore, so whatever's out there is out there floating around. So will prices drop? Maybe, but not. I wouldn't say too much. Maybe if you find them on Amazon or Crutchfield or you know different vendors or your local stereo shop. But the Shock, the SHOC, I know what you're talking about, on the KXA line, Bluetooth amps, you know, that stuff. And what that is, it's almost like, it's not a bass boost. It doesn't just boost at 45 hertz. In my opinion, from what I hear and my experience with it, it pretty much takes bass that is very minimal in the song and elevates it. So I would use it on a system ported or sealed, but when you're playing like old school music or things that just don't have heavy bass, you can mess with that, and within reason, you can get more bass at a lower volume without, turning your amp up or turning your head unit up, and get more impactful bass, because the bass that just isn't there is being more pronounced. I think they're pretty cool, and I guess you could say it's like an epicenter. I don't know if it has like some kind of Q factor or, how that actually works. I feel like it's just, it's Steve Irby magic, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's cool. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Jazz Sidwater, would you ever build a wall? Absolutely. I just never had the need to yet, honestly. With 118 Solo X, and by itself in a wall, it's it could be loud, but it's just not what I wanted to do. If I would have had two of them all this time, then yeah, you're kind of stuck with that, just because there's not enough vehicle in it. And the Pilot really hasn't had a build until I put the quad box in, and my Volvo that I used to have systems in. It was a big wagon SUV. I feel like wall is like where you go when you really want to be loud. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of power. I feel like walls tend to need a little bit more power within reason, just for the simple fact you don't have any cabin gain that you normally would from the vehicle. That alone. Now, you're closer to the meter and all those kind of, factors. I feel like a B pillar could be a lot louder on less power with the same cone area compared to, a no wall behind a C. But then you go a C pillar wall versus a C pillar no wall. I feel like the C pillar no wall is going to be louder on the same amount of subs with the same power, same kind of construction of the enclosure, lots of variables, so it all depends what you're trying to do with the space you have, the power available. I just haven't got to that step of the wall yet. I just haven't had enough equipment in my hands. I feel it coming. I do. It's a matter of time, man. Nothing's holding me back. SJC! Again, thanks for tuning in, man. Ow, my elbow. Andy, lucky man going to kicker. I have to say the production quality is super good. Nice job, Ernie, John, Bill, and William. Absolutely, man. It was just a awesome tour to be able to go there, and the VIP treatment. Flew on the plane, Steve Irby picking me up, and going out to dinner with Steve Irby, coming back home, going to the beautiful hotel, and that he set me up at. Man, this thing was, this was the Hilton Hotel of Stillwater, man. This thing was the bee's knees, and it was just cool, and then getting picked up by Aaron and getting a tour at the, just from A to Z for kicker the first day. And then going to Steve Irby's house to have dinner, man. It was just a magical moment, literally, and it was awesome, man. It was really awesome. I couldn't thank those guys enough. And John giving me a tour, giving me demos, hanging out, giving me, everybody. Jacob Lee Lucky. I mean, I got to meet everybody there too. I mean, obviously the people that I know, Jeremy Brown, Jeremy Wynn, Sandy, obviously Bill Frog and a few others. I even got to see Dave from the Kip and Dave show, I got to see everybody that I heard about on TV seen on there. And that was the thing too. Some of the people actually knew me. They're like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Finally, nice to meet you. I heard all about you, or, got to shake a lot of hands, man. It was awesome, and man, the production team of the Unmasked show is underrated, to say the least. Absolutely. What's going on, Fee? Thanks for tuning in. I'm probably behind on the comments, but it's okay. What do you think about the PRS 99? I feel like any Pioneer PRS is going to be pretty good. I never jumped on that bandwagon, man. RGA, happy for you, Andy. Thank you, man. Thank you. Going on, Drew? I seen that. I pulled the TS parameters from an original Alma Gates sub last weekend. It was very awesome. I know that was a custom built sub just for her compared to the other ones, and man, I would love to see the differences between the Alma Gates versus the actual stock OEM version of that kicker. That would be something cool, Drew, for you guys to share on Kicker Club or your page or however you want to do it. I think that would be really cool to see the difference, at least to me, since you pulled the TS parameters. I think that's something, and just go over like the physical specs, like the different size coil and stuff. And I'm sure the guys at Kicker At least Jeremy Brown would be the guy to ask. Let's see. Prototypes in the house. That is dope. Yes. I seen a prototype. I actually got to see that Solo X18 prototype. We were walking through the museum. We kind of went fast through the museum. It was just very busy, you know. We had a lot to do. We definitely had a lot to do. And it was only like really 2 days because I even got down to Stillwater a little late, but it didn't really hold me back too much. But I got there late because our flight had to turn around from Dallas to Stillwater. Plane was falling apart. Had to turn back, put some duct tape on it, fly to Stillwater. So we were like 3 hours behind. But even then, 2.5 days down there. I left at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. actually, that Wednesday after the Unmasked show. So it was tough, but a lot to do, especially because it was me, you know, trying to meet everybody, trying to see everything, trying to do everything else too. And I got to see a very special person. I know he's probably tuned in and watching. And that was awesome. And you know what? Just the whole thing, everything about it, man, it's like you go through something and it's like you don't even feel like it's real. You know, it's just pinch me. Like literally when I walked into Kicker, you know, with Steve Irby and Kayla talking and Aaron, and it just, you know, those moments were just awesome, you know, and just looking down at the ground, Solo de Gloria, you know, seeing everything I've seen. It's like, I know the place, but I just never been there. And it was just awesome to experience it all. It really was. Here, let me get to some of these pictures here. If it's like behind, let me know, but I probably won't even know because I'm always behind on the comments here. But let me scroll down here, make sure I didn't miss anything. By the way, Drew, the Bronco looks amazing. I wanted to say that. Yes, you're slipping, Deviant. Weekly public service announcement. Andy does these shows twice a week, plus other content. You like it? Join his Patreon. It starts at $1 a month, $12 a year. Look at the chat interaction. Do it, do it, do it. Thank you, Deviant, and absolutely, man, I felt bad for you guys because I wanted to give you guys, you know, the early access to the videos, and I'm like, man, I need to post this tonight just because of algorithm and because of I want to be able to talk about the quad box doing a 150 if it comes up, and it's going to be on my chest, but I have a lot to talk about with going to Stillwater, but I know it's going to come up because it's like, man, I just did a 50, man. When I got that 50 last night, I literally went, woo, yes, got it, you know, because that's the thrill of this stuff. But, you know, it just, I wanted to get that content to you guys a little bit earlier for the whole point of the Patreon. But I try my best, and, you know, that's the best way to reach me. If you need that one-on-one help, man, I'm always there. And just the support. Thank you so much, Deviant. Let me scroll down here real fast. But, yeah, right here, I'm looking at the Kicker cans. These things are awesome on that rat rod. Beautiful car. Beautiful car. Like you would have to see it to believe the detail that goes inside it, and just with the Kicker equipment that it has, it's more of like a for looks car rather than so much audio. But it is loaded with Kicker audio, Kicker head unit. It's got the bees and the knees. Andy just had his fingers on buttons, my studio buttons. Yes, Cookie Monster was working the after show. He absolutely was, man. That's who was panning the camera. Now this shot right here is just awesome. You know, these are the L7. They're not the L7S. I believe they're the 2011 series. I don't know what year that would be. Like 41. No, yeah, 41, 40. I don't know. 40, I think. Well, if it's 23, 23 is coming up. It's going to be 50. So it would have to be like 38 or something like that. Anyway, the older Kicker L7s on that wall, and I love how these things just pulsate. Like when you go up to them, they hit a little switch and it just goes like, you know, like one at a time, you know, or like a wave, literally like a wave. And, you know, that's a sine wave, how they're like set up. And it's just awesome, that display that they have over there. 07. Okay, so they're the first ones of that year, so they were a little bit more gray than black. That's right. That's right. And those, I think those are the ones that I first ever seen of Kickers. At least when I got into car audio, I'm like, man, when I at that age, that time, when I thought of Kickers, I thought of these ones right here, because that's when they changed them to gray. You know, and those are the first ones that I seen. It wasn't the silver cones like a lot of people. What's going on, Stu? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm just kind of up on the comments so I can read them as I'm going through this. This is me just telling Aaron, you know, how many gigawatts are in that wall. And again, that's when I was like kind of investigating like what's going on, how it's wired and, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. Yes, Walter, the L5s were budget subs. And if you like the L5s, man, check out the L7Rs. They're pretty much the same thing, just a little bit better. This is me checking out the first kicker, you know, just to be able to see this thing, you know, the first time in person to see the original kicker, the ass kicker. It's the only time I'm allowed to swear on a show. And, you know, it was just awesome to see that. And, you know, man, history. Now, this was the, it's not a Snap-on, but it's like another one of those brands, like a toolbox, if you call that a toolbox. Literally a toolbox for your house. And it was just loaded with L7S or L7-8s, and you name it, man. It was powered by 110 power, you know, like not 12-volt amplifiers, but it was, you know, a very clean build. It had those cans on top, or I guess those are cans. Those are like the 2.6 or 2.8 inch, and they're like dual loaded for marine or power sport or something like that. All kinds of stuff. Makita. Thank you, Ernie. Makita. The Makita's the brand. Thank you for the toolbox, if you call that a toolbox. Drew with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Working with Kicker has been a dream. The guys at Kicker are great. They love car audio. Being there just makes you want to stay and be a part of it. It was awesome seeing you there, and you fit right in. Thank you, man. And you know what? You hit the nail on the head. You know, you feel like you're home, and the people that are there, it's not like just some random business, you know, and, you know, I know exactly what you're talking about. And, yeah, you could stay there all the time, man. And is it work? Is it really work? Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, man. It was awesome seeing you. And, you know, I'm glad I fit in, you know, because I don't know where else I would fit. Thank you, man, and thank you for your super chat. And keep me posted on that Bronco build. I haven't really heard much about it, you know, because it's under wraps. But you know, I just want to hear the steps along the process. You know, I don't want to bother the guys at Kicker, and I know you know what's going on, man. Thank you so much for super chat and tuning in. Ooh, okay. Now this car, I don't have more pictures of it, but you'll see videos. Kayla did really good. She videoed everything. Yes, that's Aaron Mullen, Mr. 40 Hertz. Yes, it is. We're going to get more to him there in a second. Yes, but I'm allowed to swear when it's the ass kicker because that's what it was called originally. Yes, that's Aaron. Now, this car had 4 KX 2500s on 2 L712s. Tons of power, but man, this thing was beautiful. A center seat. It had the KX 4-channel amps and DSP all on the roof. Beautiful, beautiful build, man. Yeah, you guys will see a lot more stuff in the videos, but I just wanted to kind of go over, you know, my adventure down there and some of the pictures here. This was just a display of the QL7 Flexin. It was just cool, and then you can see John there. John's creeping up. This was the Cruise. I actually got to hear the Cruise. This had 6 Solo Classic 10s in a ported box, firing through the trunk, I guess you could say, the rear hatch of the trunk in the Cruise. Beautiful sounding system. I love the Solo Classics. Beautiful, beautiful build. All plexiglass, you name it. There's me and Aaron sitting in the front of it, getting a demo, and Kayla popping in. Very, very beautiful and just, you know, clean. Now, this was the winter. I forget. Aaron told me exactly what they used this for, but this thing was just awesome. Reminded me of Johnny 5 on a little bit of steroids with just Kicker, and loaded with Kicker equipment. And I think the older KX amplifiers or ZX, I'm not too sure. Might have been the SX too, because they had some kind of DSP control going on there. What's going on, Jeff? Thank you for tuning in. RJ, you are not a bad influence. Oh, this is a tough one here. John, Andy, if you could get any job from Kicker, not CEO or some junk, what job offer would you want to get from Kicker? I mean, I would like to be in front of the camera, you know, something along those lines where I can be beneficial and be able to talk to people, and or, you know, just out on the field, or anything that I could do good at, you know, rather than sitting behind a desk and, you know, doing stuff like that. I feel like I need to be out there if I would work there to use the most potential. And I mean, shoot, come on. I don't know, you know, it just, what would that classification be? Oh, that's just Andy, you know. What's he do here? I don't know. It's just Andy, you know. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the comment, John. Let's see here. Beautiful, beautiful build, you know, that off-road stuff, all marine rated, you know, it's just, well, not marine rated, but enough. Beautiful stuff. Now, the Wallaboom. This thing sounded awesome. It's not as loud as the RV that they have, like the, you know, the semi-trailer, because you're in a small room. But this thing is in a huge glass box. Like, we're talking 100 feet by, I don't even know how deep. Like, this is a huge room. And literally, you can feel the bass in your body at lower frequencies. And I think it peaks a little bit lower than you would expect. It got that low note on No Hands. I forget who plays that, you know, the rap song No Hands. That low bottom note crushed it. So it definitely plays below 40 hertz. And speaking of the below 40 hertz, this was my favorite picture. But speaking of the 40 hertz, I got to pull up this picture right here. This it might take a second for you guys to see it, because I know this PDF stuff takes a while to catch up and everything. But this picture right here is when the first time I mentioned 40 hertz is wasted information to Aaron. You'll see the video. It was great. You know, I'm just like, oh man, I'm sorry. It just, I'm used to saying it. I say that free willy, you know, I just go. And, I didn't really mean it, but we were talking about something, and you'll see in the video here. But yeah, this was the epic picture right here with Aaron standing in front of the Wallaboom. Again, you will see this video, all of these videos put together. I'll try to make it like a Whistling Diesel video so it's interesting. And she, I forget her name. She was just helping us out. You know, she was DJing and everything. And we had a really good time. This is me going up to her saying, what? Oh, man. Let's see. I know, SJC, this is the most insane stereo shop you could ever think of. Just reading the comments here. Okay, cool. Shannon, thank you, Ernie. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Shannon was awesome. She even, I don't want to give everything away. There's a lot of stuff, and you guys are going to see the video, and I just, you know. But now that I know her name, thank you, Ernie. I'll remember that for like 2 weeks, and then I forget names. But the systems, they never disappear for some reason. It's fine dining and breathing all over again. I know. I remember you metered it the first time. Bassaholics, Drew, thank you for the super chat. Wallaboom does over a 145 in the whole room. And we're talking more than 6 feet away, like a park and pound. I know you're inside, and there is some reverberation. But I mean, come on. A 140 plus inside somewhere in that big of a room is more than impressive. It's just... You know, even in a smaller room, it might be harder to be louder too, but with that size of a room, you might as well be outside at some point. Just standing up against the wall. Have a wall behind you and be all open, that's probably where it would be the same equivalence, because it's just nothing, after some point, that bass is just going and it's not helping whatsoever. Very loud system. I know, I kind of wish I would have brought the meter for that. And Jeremy's rig, man, that thing is really, really loud. Absolutely, Ernie. Absolutely. She is. It was cool walking in there, you know. And she's like, hello, and just, you know, the whole thing of everything about it. This is me checking out the Solo X that they had there. And I'm like, man, why is this so stiff? They're like, because it's not broken in. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is how stiff they are? I never realized that. Mine are always pre-broken in, it seems. Josh Kinsley, thank you for tuning in a little late, but made it. Nah, you're making it for the good part here. It's where we're actually going over the tour and having a good time, man. Just some more pictures with me and Aaron. That's where I made the comment. Sorry, had to. Another epic picture right here, you know, just enjoying the moment. You know, it really captures a little bit of how I was feeling. Just being there and just, you know, soaking it all in. Another picture of me up by the wall of boom. You can see how big this room is. Like, this is no, you know, 30 by 40 room. This room is huge. Now, here's a picture. I love Aaron's face on this one. With the Solo X and Warhorse. You know, Aaron was telling me that they actually had a special rack that went underneath that amplifier that you would bolt on to whatever you were bolting the amp onto, and it bolted onto the amp. So there was other stuff that I didn't even know. And another thing, I think I can release this information. It was just, you know, they put fans in the Warhorse when the fans never turned on. They never hit thermal because of how efficient the amplifier was and just how it was designed. But they put fans in it to make it look like it was more powerful. Like, you know, and that's the whole perceptive about, you know, sales, because there is that side of it where, you know, if you don't put fans in something, at least at that time in the era of car audio, you know, if you saw an amplifier that had fans, you're like, oh man, that thing must really push out the power because it needs something to cool it down. And I feel like that was the thought then, you know, and times change, you know, but it's just crazy, you know. They think about other things that maybe someone else didn't, but it was a very successful amplifier, and a fan, I guess it was functional, it just never needed to be turned on. Just a really cool note, you know, about the Warhorse. And I got to see, they actually had two of them at least out in the public. Well, I guess the Amp Labs public, sort of. They're just hanging out, man. Another picture there with the Solo X and Warhorse. Another Warhorse picture. Absolutely, Jeff. Bucket list. 100%, man. 100%. Yes, 25. That's always what she said. Okay, cool. Another Warhorse picture. I have extra pictures. There's 76 here, just so you know. We're on 28. Bill only posted about like 30 or so, and maybe about 40 from Instagram too, so about 40. But there's just extra ones here. Here's me beside a IK500, and Aaron was talking about it, and, you know, just going over, I'm like, listen, I got like 5 of these things at home. These are my favorite things, I swear to goodness. Like, literally, I love boom boxes because of what they are. You know, you're not always in your car, and to have a kicker boom box, I think that is the coolest thing. I love, you know, I even got my, well, it's hiding behind a cookie, but I got my Bullfrog 100 there, and I want a 400, but maybe one day. See if I can find it on Goodwill.com, because they're discontinued, so it's a shame. But you know what? I'm sure some things will be in the future. Still making the Bullfrog 100 though. Another picture of us just kind of pointing at each other. I just thought that was funny. Now that's kind of misshapen, but it's just because let's see. Yeah, it's just the ratio. It's not 16:9 for some reason, but it's okay. Either way, you can see what's going on. Me and Kayla sitting in Mr. Steve Irby's Metropolitan. This car actually had a kicker system in it. It's not just for show. And very, very clean, like the cleanest car you could think of. Had the KX, I believe, or ZX. I think it's the KX amplifier. Or no, it might have been the SX because it has a digital display on it. But either way, a sound quality amplifier, and then it had 2 L7s, the older ones. I think it was the red 2003 or 6 or 5, between that range. Yeah. But anyway, L7 10s, I think, 10s or 12s. And sounded phenomenal, man. Just the to be in that car was awesome, and you'll see in the video, man. They kind of put the music on us, and hey, it happens. What happens in Stillwater stays in Stillwater. Now, this is meeting, I forget everybody's name, but I got to meet a lot of people. I know he's very high up. Ernie probably knows his name. Very bad at names. But I got to have a lot of handshakes there, and it was a really cool time. Now, this picture here, SX, thank you. Bill, thank you. The SX amplifiers were in there. I feel like the SX were the ones with the digital display and the sound quality oriented ones. Awesome, awesome amps. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are here because I'm terrible with names and things. And hey, that's why we do what we do. This is me in Steve Irby's office saying, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do here today. Now, I was checking out the subwoofer that, well, I don't want to get too much into it because there's some things that I can't really talk about. But yeah, there was a subwoofer that was never made there. There was a few of them that I seen that just never came to light, but they were there. Yes, Will, I believe that the Metropolitan is the official color of Kicker. They're yellow. I don't know if it's like 0651 or I don't know exactly what the color yellow would be, but I'm sure they have it. Actually, you know what? I think I do have it in an email. I'll get back to you. Crash Steve's office. I know. I had to. I'm like, man, this is awesome. So this is Mr. Irby's office, huh? Absolutely. Now, I got to see a lot of their displays of pretty much every line that they have available right now. I'm talking like 10 rows of just equipment on both sides between their, car audio, not home audio, but pro sports and marine and motorcycle stuff and everything, man. A to Z. And that was just me talking to Aaron about the KMC2 that Cornut put in my boombox. 25 says, Andy, talk about the 18-inch and the 6.5 Solo X's. 6.5s? I don't know about that, man, but if you keep telling them about it, they might make it. Now, the 18. All right, so we know there's an 18 being made. What am I allowed to say about it? Did I see it or did I not see it? Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, I think. Yeah, because he said we're further along in the... Yeah, I can say that. Okay, so I saw a Solo X18. Got to see it. I didn't get to hear it, but I got to see it. And I think we'll be good with the current parameters of Cookie Monster's enclosure. I don't have to make the baffle any taller for mounting depth. So I think we'll be good. But there's variables with that too. But just looking at the top of the iceberg, if you want to put it that way, if you know, you know. Well, we're good on that department for that. So it was awesome to see that and just touch it. Deviant with the super chat. Thank you for tuning in, man. Always being here. Post a pic of Beardy parking only. You know what? I should have taken a picture of that for Steve Irby's parking space for something. There's always memes to be made or something. Andy, did you go in the room across the hall from the listening room with the shelves and things? Yes, that room. That was the awesome room. And I seen some other stuff in there too. Other than the 18. Lots of stuff in there. I'm choking. Sorry, guys. Whew. Okay. 6.5 Solo X would have all surround and no cone. That's what Mama said. 6.5-inch L7X with a 3-inch coil. Man, I feel like there's a point of too much, just too much. I feel like if they would make a 6.5, there's no way there could be a 3-inch coil. Absolutely, SJC. I'm excited as well. He is excited to see what's be available in the Solo X family. Cornet's like, they're rubbing it in that they get to see things and common folk don't. I feel like, we are special to be able to see the stuff, and we, just like the Solo X, not dropping in time, they just don't want to get you guys too excited. Trust me, it drives me nuts. Knowing the information, but yet at the same time, blessed to know the information. It's a double-edged sword. And then there's your position. You just don't know. So then there's that feeling. But then you don't have to have the feeling of like, oh my goodness, I can't wait till it's out. Because you just don't know it's there yet, or whatever the situation is. So it depends which way you look at it. But yeah, I'm sorry, Cornut. It's Drew. I blame Drew. It's all Drew. Man. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Ooh. Talking too much. That's what happens. All right, now this part right here, Aaron was showing me the warranty claims, and it was crazy because I think it was around 2% of everything that is sold is a warranty claim, but yet majority of everything that they get from the warranty claims is actually working, which is kind of crazy. And it's usually user error where they just, you know, their amplifier is hooked up, but it's not hooked up right, or their subwoofer is in the box, but it's not hooked up right, or there are the you know, the situations where, you know, user error when the driver is being clipped or overpowered, and there's that very, 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 very small, you know, percentage of the parts that are just, you know, when they're made and processed, you got a lemon, and that happens. You know, life is not perfect, but that percentage of that happening is slimmer than any other company. And you know, it was just crazy to see all the stuff there, but they take care of it. They do it all, man. And with the warranty claims, you know, your amp goes there, you send it in, you get it repaired, you know, it's in and out of the door within, I think they said 48 hours. And it's crazy the amount of work that they do and what they do. I have actually a better picture of me looking at the Warhorse here, but you know what, it's okay. Bill's got it on Facebook. I actually got it, you know, plunged up over here, but I don't want to remove. Actually, yeah, I could probably do that. Here, yeah, here. Let me share my screen. There we go. There's a better picture of me looking at the Warhorse amp with Aaron, and that was the Amp Tech report, Amp Tech room. Just, you know, the entrance of it, pretty much. Okay, let me get through here. And there is Bill 2, that actually works in the amp room. That was in chat here on Kicker Club. Thank you, Bill, for tuning in, man. Just awesome to hang out with you that day and just, you know, see what you did. I know it was limited time, but at least, you know, we got to hang out and meet face to face like a lot of you guys. Absolutely, Drew. 2% is really good, and the fact it's even lower is very impressive. 100%. Ernie, take it to the bank. Yes. Ernie's got a point. You'll be the first in public to see it on Unmasked. Fact. Fact or cap? I call fact. 100%, Ernie. Yeah, that's the whole point of the Unmasked show. You know, obviously to help, you know, talk about Kicker products, but also to help educate you guys and have a good time and, you know, just what they do. But also to release information about future products and products that are readily available. And it's a great tool that they have, the Unmasked show. And, man, you know, I feel like Solo X being released, I'm sure they might, you know, have a extra Unmasked show if it happens to fall on that bye week with the Kicking It with Andy. Sorry, they might boot me. Listen, Andy, we got to tell the people it's ready. So that's the whole point of the Unmasked show. I feel like, you know, like not entirely, but like, man, that's why they have that. So you guys can know first about products. Rather than just, you know, Facebook or email. You know, I don't check my email all the time. So, you know, just so you guys know as soon as you can. This is right here. We were just, he was doing a test on an amplifier. They didn't know what was wrong with it. Because sometimes their amps come in and they don't know the problem. When they get it from, I think it's like a dealer and it's like 1 amp from a customer, and usually the dealer, if he's an installer, he'll be like, okay, this amp's not turning on, it's going into protect and not coming out. So they'll write a note. Well, sometimes when it comes from bigger manufacturers, where they're just doing a dump load of warranty reclaims of whatever the situation is. They don't put down notes. So you kind of go into it blind, but going into something blind, not knowing the problem, kind of gives you, it's harder, but then you might find a problem that you might have overlooked if you're only looking for one thing. So they kind of go A to Z, make sure the amp runs like it's supposed to. And then, you know, if it works like it's supposed to, okay, we're good. Send it back. That's not our problem. You just got to make sure your fuse isn't blown next time. But, you know, it's just a really cool software. The Precision, I forget the name. Man, names really go by on me on these shows sometimes. And then I'm like watching it after. I'm like, oh my God, it's this. I remember the name. But the testing equipment for the amplifiers, of how they actually do it, that was just a very huge Anderson connector that they had right there. Thank you for the super chat, Deviant. All stuck on an island. What album and hot sauce? All stuck on an island. What album and hot sauce? Man, what album am I listening to? Breaking Benjamin and hot sauce. Sure. Not too hot though. Now these are subwoofers that were returned, and these, you know, they got them to see what's going on with them after, you know, they test them, make sure that they're not working, you know, however that proceeding goes. And, yeah, and you know, that's one way to check the coil, man. I was like, listen, I need some of those, you know, kicker clocks. Come on, man. A lot going on there with me and Aaron. There's the, one of the original kicker signs, Stillwater Designs, behind me there. Me all looking tough, big and bad, let me tell you. Audio Precision, thank you. That's probably Bill. Thank you, Bill. Audio Precision. I was halfway right. Absolutely, man. Thank you. RGA Andy's enthusiasm is infectious. You know, it's kind of how I always been, man. You know, and it's just getting more comfortable on live TV, and you know, just being able to do it and be yourself. It's awesome, man. it's how I do it. Thanks, RGA. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks, Brandy. I'm live right now. Love ya. Got your message on Facebook. I still need to get back to you from Wednesday. I've been so busy with just all this stuff, you know. Getting home. I didn't have to work when I got back, but, you know, quad box, getting home, unpacking, you know, getting all situated, and then between filming last night with the quad box, taking apart, you know, the subs in and out after filming, and putting them back in and out, you know, rewiring it back, and then editing a video, making it ready, making the thumbnails for tonight and for the video for the quad box. Oh, I can't wait till Saturday, but then I still got to prepare for the Kicking It With Andy show, man. It never stops, man. Never stops. Now, this room right here with me and Aaron, this is where they do a lot of the videos, at least with the key. I seen them do a video with a key 200.4 in this room, and that was actually a Subaru that comes with OEM kicker speakers. So when you buy a Subaru and a few other, I think Chrysler and a few other ones, you can actually tell them that you want kicker audio in your car. You know, like when you're buying a brand new car, man. I think that is so cool. Thank you, Walter. B stock is great value. How can we access inventory? There's lots of loaded question, but I know you can find some pretty decent deals actually on Amazon and eBay. I've seen some L715s go for like $239 when they're listed at like $339 or something like that. Usually it's B stock stuff. No, Deviant, I don't think you've ever missed a Unmasked show. All right, right here was their, I think this wasn't the main saw, because that was farther back in the room behind there. That was like the band's table saw. I forget what kind of saw this was right here, but just all kind of equipment for, like, you know, pretty much making things. A lot of stuff there, and then you can see Bill Frog in the flesh. And I don't know if you guys are supposed to see this truck yet, so we're just going to keep going. And there's me in Aaron's office, I guess you could call it that, where they do a lot of the videos, the key lock, you know, with Aaron's videos as well, with the Tech Force stuff. It's all done in this room, in this little studio that they got there. And it was cool to be in there. There's more pictures of that on the kicker slide photos that I might bring up towards the end, but we already been going for an hour and 5 minutes, so I don't know. We'll see how far we get. I cannot confirm nor deny SJC is at a Hummer crawler. I don't know. It looks like one. Jeff Wallace, can I only hook up one voice coil on a dual voice coil, asking for a friend? You know what? That's funny, because John asked me a trick question, not even a trick question, but, you know, a loaded question. How many ways can you wire up a dual voice coil? And I'm like, oh, well, it's a dual voice coil, one sub, right? Yeah, one sub. Okay. Series or parallel, too. And he was like, yeah, you're right. But you can also wire one coil and the other coil in stereo, you know, one on one channel and the other on channel 2. Or you can only hook up one coil, you know, so you could do it. So there is technically 4 ways. He tricked me. But I feel like the other 2 are not very relevant in what we do. I thought it was a tougher question, you know, like how many ways can you wire 4 dual voice coil subwoofers and how many orientations? It's like, okay, well, there's series parallel, parallel series, series parallel, series parallel, series, 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 parallel, parallel, parallel. You know, there's like 5 million different combinations, especially when you have more than 2 subwoofers. And they're different impedance results. How they're wired. You would think series parallel is the same as parallel series when you have more than 2, and it's not. It depends which one you do first, which is crazy, but it just makes sense if you don't think about it. So, can you hook up only one voice coil? Yes, you can, but you're cutting your thermal limitation in half. You literally are. You're using half the coil. There's 2 windings that go around the coil. One for coil 1 and one for coil 2. So when you go from your negative to positive, you're literally starting at the beginning of the coil 1, and when you go to your positive, that's the end of the coil 1. So when you wire in series, that's why it kind of just goes through coil 1 and then through coil 2, and then you just go on the outside, and that's how you wire in series. And then parallel, you're pretty much just going full tilt boogie. But hey, people have those questions, man. They really should. Yes, Ernie, he should have asked how many correct ways to do it. Yeah. I think he was trying to trick me on that one. Is the kicker show up on YouTube? I want to see it. Oh, come on, 25. Is this your first time? So how many wiring options for 9 subs? Well, it depends how many amplifiers you got, too. Dual voice coil and your impedance load that you want. I mean, the amount of variables changes with the amount of amplifiers. And if they're bridgeable or not. Strappable. Oh, man. I didn't even realize I was on the picture with the Bronco. Me and Drew looking at the Bronco. A lot of stuff going on there. Some things on the table you shouldn't look at, but they're there. More things on the table. This is me and Aaron hanging out, man. He gave me a lot of demonstrations between sound, building surrounds, the Clipple, all kinds of stuff. This is right around where they make the surrounds for the woofers. Really cool stuff. He's pointing, I'm looking. There's Ernie! Got him! I got Ernie! There's Ernie right in the corner there. Ernie again. There is the template that they use at CNC machine that they built this with over here. And they use that, and you'll see in the video of how they actually do it. I got a nice clip of it, of how they make the surround. But that's the template of how they do it. Oh. Man, he's gonna kill me because I forgot his name. Chase? Chase. Yes, Chase. This is who gave me my first demo of the L7Xs. Awesome demo. This was in the Kicker Museum. You know, they just had pretty much like a collage of everything going on, and, you know, just over the years of Kicker. I thought that was just a really cool shrine that they had going there with everything, man. It was awesome. What's going on, John? Thanks for tuning in. Chase. Yes, see, I got it. I got it. On these shows, if you think less, the answers come to your head. If you think harder, they just don't. They really don't. That was one of the very old, wasn't the original kicker down there, but one of the very first, enclosures that they had, because everything was like a full range setup up to a certain point. And some things were just a subwoofer and some things were just mid-range, obviously. But then it wasn't until 87 or 86 when they first made the gold letters and called them separates, because they were separate from the box. They have always sold everything as like a one package deal type situation. So it's just cool to see all that kind of stuff. There's Mr. Irby guiding me into the museum. I know that I wish I would have got more footage of Steve, but it was just like, I felt that I just wanted to enjoy being with him rather than just filming him for other people to watch. Do you know what I mean? So Kayla filmed a little bit, and I absorbed it all in, man. There's me talking about that prototype that I kept bringing up on every Unmasked show that I would see. I'm like, is this a prototype? He's like, yes, that's a prototype. I'm like, yes. And that's it. That's it for the slides. I can pull up over here. Yeah, Ernie's shirt was great. It was great. Yes, the kicker substation. Voice is giving out on me, guys. All right, let's go over a couple of these on the kicker website. Some of these are going to be reruns of what's there. We already went over, but he's got some more that I didn't post. That's a nice shot of the actual, the Living Loud sign that they made for me at the hotel. This sign was actually taken from the last building that they were at, and they actually put it right there. I believe that's the one that they had on the old building, the white building. There was a few locations. I think the first house, the second and third were right next door to each other, and then the fourth was the white building, I believe. I know that they were before they were in the white building. They had a lot of places all around town, and all their stuff was kind of divided. It wasn't all together like it is now. So that was just, pretty cool to hear the whole story with Steve explaining. And I tried to film that without, filming his face, but you're going to be able to hear some good audio about, kicker history from Steve himself, which is just, and we're getting a tour of it from Steve. How cool is that? These right here are the tailgates that they make for, I think, the GMC or Chevy, one of the ones. The pickup trucks. They got the kicker speakers with the little amplifier that's built in right back there, the controller and all that kind of stuff. Man, they do that in-house. And they got some big plans coming down the road for other things too, man. There's another picture of Bill from Amp Tech Support. I forget the gentleman's name in the front there that was doing the test. But I've seen him there. He's been there for a long time. I've seen him in a lot of videos and pictures, man. Again, now this is right here by where they would do the surrounds. If you look to the left here, this is the machine where they actually make the surround with that template. This is me checking out the Fiat with the kicker quad box in the back. I didn't get to demo it. But I got to see everything that they had going on in there and just check it out, man. A quad box and a little Fiat 500. It's crazy. It really is. Aaron gave me the best tour. I love Steve and all, but, Aaron really gave me a good tour, man. Just hanging out, showing me everything. Enthusiastic, awesome dude. Glad to have met him, Destined to be friends, man. All right, and this was the picture in Aaron's studio that I was talking about earlier, me and Kayla. I'm trying to smile, believe me, I am trying to smile. And this is me talking with Tim, and this is right where they had the Bronco build. It was in the main shop, it seemed like, and they had everything de-gutted because they're sound dampening, prepping the car to put those L7Qs in there, and then you can see the frame job just kind of chilling in there. There's a lot to go on this, but they got the frame in there and measured up of what they're going to do. This thing's going to be awesome. It really is. Let me scroll down here in the comments here. Drew says, I believe it's 511 ways to wire 9 subs to 1 amp. I mean, if you're talking with which wire goes to which speaker, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. But I think he was trying to get at, you know, if you would have like literally 9 speakers, how many different ways could you do it? And that's an odd number. I don't like odd numbers. I feel like with an odd number of subs, you're actually going to have less variables of which way you can wire them, because you are limited, man. In a way, you really are when you have an odd number of subs. Aaron showing me the Clipple. I didn't get to see one in action, but it was just cool to actually see that thing in person. And that's how they do all their RMS testing, by the way. When you see their RMS ratings, that's free air, bro. Now, me and Drew, we got some learning to do. Aaron was teaching us a lot of stuff, which is sound quality and imaging. Man, this stereo was just these 2 little speakers right here that I'm hovering over. And it sounded like there was a giant speaker the size of this, just right here in front of you. Like, no joke, this thing sounded phenomenal. And he was showing me on his computer all kind of stuff of just like how they tune their system, any system. Pretty much seeing results before doing them, and then when you see the results, you put them to practice. If it works, great. If not, tweak it. Lots of variables, but it gets you there, man. Really gets you there. Here's just a good picture. Obviously, me, Drew, and Aaron. Got Jeremy, Ernie, and Kayla video, and she got lots of footage. But it was just a cool experience to be in there, you know, and Aaron going over everything. It was awesome. It really was. Here's just a good picture of after the Unmasked show and the after show. Which is, you know, John, Bill, and Ernie and me, man. It was just awesome. I'm like, listen, we need a picture. We need a picture, and we need it now. No fee, that wasn't the isolated chamber. That was a different room. I didn't get a picture of that, but man, that chamber really scared me. You know, it was it was like they have it, like, you know, you see those YouTubers that go into it, and they're saying it's eerie. Oh, it is. You don't realize how much background music, listen to me, background noise that goes in your ear, and your brain kind of just, you know, doesn't process it. Well, you know, you just don't realize it's there. Just like you don't forget how to breathe, you know, just something that's there. And then when it's gone, you realize it's gone. Another picture there, me and Kayla in the Metropolitan again. Me and Steve's office. Like I said, there's going to be a couple here that are the same, because some of these I sent to Bill. Bill Frog, we know too many Bills here. Let's see here, and I think that's it. There was some more on Instagram. There was more on Instagram, but not too many differences. There was like one extra one with me and John at the studio, you know, before. I think it was on the on the after show, because I was sitting on the left side. But it was just awesome to be there, man. You know, to be at Stillwater, to get the VIP treatment. Man, John was not kidding. Neither was Ernie. The VIP treatment that I got going down there, I want to do it again. You know, my goodness. My goodness. Let's see. I just want to see if I miss anything. That pick was missing Cookie Monster. I know. Every pick is missing Cookie Monster. Awesome. Well, we went way overboard, but I wanted to give a good representation of my trip down to Stillwater and just talk about a few things, you know, about it. I mean, man, just like the tour going down there, I could talk even more. I could see even more. I could talk more about what I did down there. Man, you know, we'll try to cover more as I go and remind myself of different things that I got to do down there, you know, of what I can say. But just, you know, everything A to Z, seeing everything, seeing how they do the stuff there, and just being able to hang out with the guys, you know, and it was like I was there already, but I was never there, you know, and that feeling with that. So it was a great time, and man, I can't wait to go down again. And just, you know, getting the whole feel of Stillwater, not just Kicker, Stillwater, man. the whole experience with all the restaurants we went to, and just, man, Smoke and Joe's, everything else, Da Vinci's. I can't think of all the restaurants. Very amazing restaurants we went to. Man, I gained probably a few pounds. I haven't looked because I don't want to look. I felt like all I did was eat or walk around and talk to people. It was a crazy weekend, and I'd do it all over again if I could. I try to absorb as much as I could, and that's why it was great to have at least Kayla there to film, because I wanted to enjoy everything for the first time. Obviously, next time, walk in there, I can pull out the camera a little bit more, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm just there for the first, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be a blast, but at least we made it. I've been dying to go down. I've been dying to go down to Kicker, to go down to Stillwater, and I did it. It was great. Can't wait, man. Big plans, big things happening. Man, you guys stay tuned with everything else coming down the line. And I might do that integration stuff, if I can't think of anything else, John, I might go with that integration for the Kicking with Andy show. Maybe bounce some ideas off Ernie, somebody else. Because it's just like, man, I'm like, I forgot. I have to do that too. Man, whew, it's going to be fun. But we'll get it done. Thank you guys for tuning in, man, and just hanging out, and all your guys' super chats, and just being here, and, what we do. It's been awesome, man. And we had over 30 people watching this whole time. And great show. Everyone was watching the quad box video I just posted up. Today's been a good day. I put a lot of work and effort into it, at least social media wise, and videos and testing and car audio, and literally the day after I got back from Stillwater working on it. Because I'm like talking to John, and I'm talking to Jeremy Brown. I'm like, listen, do you think the CX amp will be okay? It's the 43 2-ohm version. I'm running at 5 ohms. And they're like, send it. I'm like, what? They're like, oh, it'll be okay. I thought you said something else. No, what are you talking about? But yeah, it did great. And obviously, if you've seen the video, what it does, bulletproof, dummy proof. That's how I like my equipment, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. SJC, Andy has one of the most interactive shows. Hit that like, join Patreon. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Like, really. Yeah, definitely smash a like before you leave. Thank you guys so much for just hanging in there, watching, little tour. I was going to save this for Kicking It with Andy, but I'm like, man, I want to give these guys some good stuff, some more content, some more knowledge, or just, information that they can go back on. Like the past 2-3 shows we've had. I know the first one was just why you love car audio, but the enclosure, the power, there was a lot of key things, and it's kind of hard to top that. Because when it comes down to car audio, it's your power and your enclosure. And in subwoofers, yeah, that makes a difference. So maybe we can be like, okay, the difference is subwoofers, but I gotta watch what I say on that, because some people might be like, oh, what do you mean my sub can do that? Because hey, but you know what? We try to keep it an equal playing field and just teach people about car audio in general, and how to get louder and which way to do it right. So you're doing it right the first time, not the third time. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to get the credits going. It's been a long day, long night. Had an awesome show. We're going to end it on a bang. And I will see everyone Tuesday. Try to get some rest. That's what I'm going to do. Got to feed the fish. The usual. So I guess we'll just, we'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, stay living loud. we got an early Caboose. Can Cornut get it? We're going to end it on that. Can we? Oh, my goodness. 1, 2, 3. No, that's it. Caboose is Cornut. Oh!